Hey, Philip, I have a question for you before we get started. Are you going to be putting this live on YouTube? Oh, oh, thank you. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Zenobia.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes. Hey, Rupa, test your mic when you get a chance.
Still waiting for Justin to come down, so it's like...
Good, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, Sesame Street.
I guess I never realized how small that picture looks on my wall. Maybe it's just, it looks bigger. Maybe it's my head's bigger than I thought it was. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a water.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Blanks, you might just want to say hi to us so we can make sure your mic's working. Sarnobia, yours still says connecting to audio.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Very good.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Very well.
What's for supper, Ruba?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Good.
I'm just a little computer illiterate this afternoon for whatever reason. My first day back at work in 2 weeks.
You're COVID strong now.
I am. Cancer and COVID strong. I guess I'm a survivor.
Okay, Gloria. I will say.
Yeah. It was Gloria Gaynor.
Yeah, I bet you could sing it to us.
And do the dance moves. How about that?
On Zoom?
I might be sore. I might be sore in the morning, but
that would be funny.
The entertainment for tonight.
Let me see.
How's everybody else doing?
Good. I'm ready for spring.
I am too. The snow is beautiful though.
Yeah, but we're not even hardly into winter, hardly.
No, we're not.
You say the snow is beautiful?
Yes, I think it's pretty.
It was the biggest snowflakes. I guess it was
Thursday night.
Thursday. That was crazy.
Yeah.
They were like an inch or two.
Yeah, I mean, like you could feel them plopping down on you.
Yeah.
And of course, I wasn't thinking, and I had sandals on.
You skated.
Well, it's time for new sandals because there comes a point where there's no traction on the front or the bottom.
I got a pair of Crocs that are probably 25 years old that are dangerous.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they probably are.
But they
feel good.
I was gonna say, it's like a good wallet or a good pair of jeans. They just mold to you after so long and you hate getting rid of them.
Yeah, dry rot will get your jeans, and when you bend over, and
that's happened, especially when you got a little too much.
That's the rips.
Like me.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah. That happened on my way to a city function with a pair of dress slacks. I was running from place to place. I went to hop in my car, and then there's it's like, oh man. Oh.
I want to tell you all before I let the other guests in that this morning I found out Steve Worsham is sick with COVID. So he had planned to have his office closed because last week several people in his office were sick. And I guess he must have tested positive or started feeling sick over the weekend. The other thing is Robin Dunn is not going to be joining us on the meeting tonight. So we'll just have 6. Okay.
You could zone from the beach.
Yeah, she's camping on Jekyll Island. It sounds terrible, right?
I know.
Is that Miss Mary at the bottom corner there?
I'm sorry?
At the very bottom, is it Mary? Or the new senior planner?
Oh, yes, I think she is on the call. Yes.
Now, how do we, I've not had the pleasure yet. How do we say the last name?
Samaniego, I believe.
I've not had the pleasure yet.
Is the mayor able to get on?
Yeah. Hold on.
It's Samaniego.
Samaniego.
Have I let you in off the waiting room?
I don't know.
What's
City Hall number?
You are probably this number that I don't recognize.
City recorder?
Mm-hmm. She would like for me to let her in on the, should I?
Please.
Who is that?
Dr. Blank said I can let you in. All right, I think we're ready to let everyone else in, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let.
Oi.
Where's the mayor?
He's in this group. He just got on.
Bingo.
Jennifer, can you hear me? This is Rosemary.
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Thank you. And we are probably just 2 minutes away from going live. So I wanted to let the guests know that are on the Zoom meeting that when it's the appropriate time for you to speak, absolutely have your video on and unmute yourself. But after that period is done, I will just ask that you turn off your video. You're welcome to stay on the meeting, but if you would turn off your video, it lets the viewers that are watching us live on cable or on our social media accounts see all of the aldermen in a little bigger picture. And then I was expecting Reverend Smith to be on the call.
I saw him somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought.
I'm here.
Okay, excellent. I just wanted to make sure you had joined us.
I'm alive.
Ms. Moody, are you ready from your position? Ms.
Yes.
Moody, if you are ready, and Reverend Smith, Reverend Smith, are you ready as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay. With that, I would like to call the meeting to order. This will be the regular meeting for the Board of Mayor and Aldermen for Monday, January the 11th, 2021. Due to the COVID-19 emergency, the Board of Mayor and Aldermen will conduct our essential business by electronic means rather than by being required to gather a quorum of members physically present in the same location, because it's necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans. This meeting is in compliance with Governor's Executive Order number 71. With that, I'll open the meeting for a public hearing on the request of the city to declare an area of 5,000 square feet of unimproved right-of-way on East Decker Street, adjacent to 320 South Polk Street, as surplus real property for sale, which we'll be addressing later in the agenda. Are there any public comments? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call. Ms. Golden, would you proceed with the roll call, please?
Yes. Mayor Noes.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Here.
Alderperson Amacher.
Here.
Alderperson Berry.
Here.
Alderperson Blackwell.
Here.
Alderperson Dunn. Alderperson McGee.
Here.
That would be 6 present.
Thank you. With that, I'd like to ask Reverend Smith to please for the invocation and continue with the Pledge of Allegiance. Would you all please stand for the invocation and remain standing for the pledge? Reverend Smith.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, your will be done in this meeting tonight. Lord, our hearts are burdened over the division in our country, especially in our nation's capital and here in the city of Tullahoma. We pray for unity. I pray that you would help this local board meeting tonight to just listen and follow the leadership of the Holy Spirit, because you have taught us in the Bible, you're not the author of confusion, but of peace and harmony. So we pray your Spirit would speak to each person and that each member would do what's the best for the city and not individual ideas. Pray that you be with the mayor as he leads this meeting. Be with him, give him the anointing of the Holy Spirit. And Lord, I pray for our policemen and firemen as they put their lives on the line every day for our safety. Pray for our medical personnel, doctors, nurses, staff, as they're dealing with this terrible virus. And I pray again that you would help us, keep us faithful, keep us true to thee, and bless our city and help our leaders, we do pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Smith. Ms. Moody, I do not believe we have any commendations or certificates or proclamations or awards tonight. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Very good. We do have some comments from citizens, and we have some prepared statements from citizens that have been received. These are on some separate subjects, and their statements for the record have been distributed in their entirety to the board for their consideration. That's been a long-standing practice of the board. We would like to extend an opportunity to any of our citizens to address the board for up to 2 minutes with any comments that they wish to make, or to comment further on the prepared statements that they have submitted. Also, I'll remind you of another long-standing practice of our board, that being, if an alderman's name is called, they may be given an opportunity to respond. So Ms. Moody, I believe you have a list of those who would not like to speak or who have prepared statements.
I do. First, we have Tisha Fritz. who sent in a prepared statement. And then, as you said, we may give her 2 minutes to make any additional comments.
Hi. This evening, I will speak on behalf of the Community Council for Diversity and Inclusion. As many of you know, most of you know, that our committee decided together that we would move forward without being under the city. So we will continue the efforts that those citizens who met together, we will do as they wish and form this council separately. And we will hold our first meeting tomorrow evening at Mount Zion Baptist Church. It will be at 6:30 p.m. And we know that seating will be limited as we'll be following CDC meeting guidelines. We expect about 75 to 100 that can meet safely. And so for all who cannot attend that meeting, we invite you to join us on Facebook, as we'll be Zooming through that platform on our page. And you can find that at Community Council for Diversity and Inclusion. And if you go to that event, you will see that invitation to join us live tomorrow evening. We do ask that citizens who attend do wear a mask and maintain safe social distancing, as that will be required for attendance. So again, please join us tomorrow evening to hear more about how we plan to celebrate diversity and advocate for the historically underrepresented in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fritz. You have someone else, Ms. Moody?
We do. We have Marie Desoleil, I believe is how you say the last name. And she also provided a letter or a statement that has been distributed. So we'll give her an additional 2 minutes to make any further comments. And I believe she's with us by phone.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, I just want to state that I don't know Jenna Amaker personally. With that being said, I'm only judging the aldermen's actions, social media posts, tweets, unethical, and racist behavior. I didn't move to the state of Tennessee until 1997. I've dealt with slight racism from time to time, but nothing like I've experienced when I moved to Tullahoma. I think with me being from Rhode Island is what opened my eyes just a little more to what was actually going on around me. I now know what it means to show prejudice and bigotry towards others and the actual meaning of the term being called racist. A few posts of Jenna's really had me in awe, regardless of whether she's joking or poking fun. As she says, as an alderman and now being a political figure, you kind of have to take a step back from those type of things. And with her claiming that she wants to move further in politics one day, she can't continue with these antics. Yes, Jenna was just recently shown on social media posing in front of a Confederate flag at a themed Christmas party. We've all seen it. And while appropriating her own cultural identity, she's denying the cultural identity of our Vice President-elect Kamala Harris on social media platform, Facebook, by stating that she isn't Black, but that Jenna herself can now identify as a Black woman. But this goes back further than those most recent Facebook posts. Since becoming alderman, Jenna has displayed nothing but unethical, uncivil, biased, and unethical and racial behavior. As a citizen of Tullahoma, it concerns me that our alderman shows such lack of empathy towards mental health, people of color, individuals who practice different religions. If you want to see and understand a perspective on social problems, you have to be respectful and show empathy as well. Empathy is the key to all injustice. I'm just glad that the city finally took a stand and shared on social media that they agreed with its constituents, that what she did was controversial and did not represent the city of Tullahoma. She's upset with the mayor for his Facebook post claiming that it's censoring the public and that it should not have been posted on the city's public page. But she literally did this herself.
We have your statement, and at this time, your 2 minutes have expired. Thank you. Ms. Moody, is there someone else who needs 2 minutes? Ms. Moody, is there someone else?
I'm sorry, I was muted. We have Mr. Cecil Harden is next. And I believe he may also be on the phone, joining us by phone. So he would want to press, I believe it's *6 to unmute yourself on a phone.
Could you go ahead?
Okay, maybe we should go to the next. We received a letter from Mr. Howard Thompson.
Just a minute, Miss Moody, I got a text from Cecil saying that he's in a waiting room, but he can't hear what's being said.
Okay, let me check. Yep, that's it. Okay, let's give him just a minute to get his audio. Okay, Mr. Harden, have you joined us?
Tell him again. You press *6, I think, to unmute.
Yes, I believe you press *6 to mute and then unmute.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Yes, my name is Cecil Harden. I'm just to give you a little bit of my background. I'm a retired policeman, 10 years of it served there in Tullahoma. And I'm a former United States Marine. I'm a business owner in Tullahoma and Manchester. I'm basically calling in because I've heard the things that are going on with Miss Armarka. So I want to speak on her behalf. I think the world of her. I think the world of her brothers. I think the world of her fathers. We've been friends a long time. She, like me, is not politically correct. We speak what we see, which is the truth. I don't know all the things that the reason why this meeting is being held, but I will back her in anything she needs to do as far as her agendas go, because I believe in her and what she believes in. And I guess in closing, all I can say is, and I just so happen to be Black. And the girl does not have a racist bone in her body, nor does her family.
Thank you, Mr. Harding.
You're welcome.
Ms. Moody, do we have another one?
Yes, we received a letter late this afternoon from Howard Thompson, and I distributed that to all of the board by email. We can ask. I'm not sure that he was able to join us tonight. Is there a mistake?
Mr. Thompson, are you able to join us this evening? If not, for the record, each of the board members do have that letter for the record. Is that all, Ms. Moody?
There's one additional, actually two additional speakers. We received a statement from Amber Williams, also about 4:30 today, and I have distributed that to all of the board members by email. So you should have a copy of that.
Is Mr. Williams online?
No.
Okay, we have that record, have that letter for the record.
Actually, I misspoke. I do see someone on the meeting by that name. So we probably should.
Williams, are you online?
An additional 2 minutes to make any further comments if you'd like. Okay, it's very difficult to hear you. So maybe try to speak up as much as you can. We can just barely hear you. I'm not sure if I think that we don't have a very good connection with your phone. I don't know if it almost sounds like it's on a speakerphone or.
I'm sorry, but we will need to get on with the.
That's fine. I sent my statement in and somebody was going to read it. I'm in the middle of taking care of my son. I'm going back and forth, so that's fine.
Okay, she said that from what I can hear, she said she submitted her statement, and so she will just let you read that and leave it with the statement that she provided. And then the last speaker that I know of tonight, that I knew of in advance, is Mr. Greg Sandlin, asked to have 2 minutes.
Mr. Sandlin, you have 2 minutes, if you wish.
Oh, you're on mute.
Mr. Sandlin, you are on mute. If you take your.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. This is the first time I've tried Zoom on the phone. So yes, thank you, Mayor and Board. My name is Greg Sandlin. I'm at 106 Aldermen Drive. I wanted to say a few words tonight about a Facebook post I made this morning. I posted a well-known quote by one of our nation's founders, former President Thomas Jefferson. Some were offended by it, and in the context of our current political climate, I can see why they were offended by it. It was unwise to post, and it has been deleted. Moving on, regarding my potential appointment to the Regional Planning Commission, I just would commit to working with all the citizens of our community to plan for smart and safe growth and updating our comprehensive land use plan, working with our community development organization to support economic development, downtown revitalization, and tourism. My qualifications have been provided. I served as a planning commissioner when I was an alderman, as the board appointee for 3 years. And I'm also a civil and environmental engineer, a licensed professional engineer in the states of Ohio and Tennessee. I have 30 years of experience. It's my calling, and I'd be happy to serve in the community. I would commit to active service to help Tullahoma grow healthy and grow smart. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate your comments.
You bet.
Do you have any other citizens' comments, Ms. Moody?
There's no one else that contacted me in advance. I'm not sure if there's anyone else on the meeting that was intending to speak.
Okay, thank you. As I indicated in my prefacing remarks, I did indicate that if an alderman's name was called, that they would have an opportunity to respond. Alderman Almacher, your name was certainly called. We extend to you that privilege to respond.
Yes, sir. I'll take just a moment. I submitted a response to Channel 6 News, and I think that this might be a time to just reiterate part of what I said in my response. Like Greg, I'm very consciously aware of the state of our nation right now, and I do think it is a time that, especially locally, we need to be more united. And to speak to the allegations against me from Ms. Deslitz, she's right. She's never met me, and I think that it's hard to tell context from a snippet of a conversation or from a picture from obviously a satirical party and really understand what is going on. Deuteronomy 19, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition. You, the voters, Tullahoma City, you are the judges, and I fully expect that you will make diligent inquisition and that you will reach out to me and you will continue to get to know me, and you'll make that decision at the polls. As a constitutionalist, a patriot, and a proud Christian, my goal in the aftermath of all of this has been to humble myself, seek wise counsel, and pray. My prayers have been to understand all perspectives, not just my own, and to seek clarity on how to undo that which has been done. The misconceptions, the lies, the propaganda, the innocent people being used as weaponry against an imaginary villain. So as Psalm so eloquently bequests, deliver me not over until the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses have risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty. I think that if you knew me, if you had the opportunity to meet me, people who do truly know me know that I am in no way, shape, or form a racist. And I love everyone, and I encourage everyone to reach out to me. I'd love to buy you a cup of coffee, sit down and have a conversation, and you can get to know that I'm a giver. I'm a giver of time, of money, and a zealous advocate. Without investigating the merit of those claims, offering to speak with me to gain understanding, those are doing that which, we claim to need a diversity council to stop. We need to respect and embrace the right of others to have differing opinions, and to understand that not everybody's going to be as politically correct as others. And not everybody believes in the fruit of being so. The very premise behind diversity and inclusion is to respect and embrace the right of people's ideas, values, and ideologies outside of your own. And that is exactly what I intend to do in this position as your alderman moving forward. I will encourage Ms. Desolate to reach out to me and to have that conversation that has been long overdue, and to meet me in person, and hope that we can get back to the city's business, and let's have a great 2021. All right.
Thank you, Alderman Nalmacher. Thank you very much. At this time, we'll have our reports from the members of the Board of Mayor and Aldermen. Ms. Blackwell, Alderman Blackwell, could we start with you this evening?
Yes, I'm warning you, there's a lot on here. I'll start with the easiest and fastest one. This Thursday at 4:00 p.m., I'm having my monthly coffee and conversations at Celtic Cup. Please come out, asking the citizens to come out, and any of you board members, I'm sure, but I mean, we can't talk about board stuff. But 4:00 p.m., coffee and conversations, Celtic Cup. My son will be with me, and daughter, so bear with me. Domestic violence task force. It's actually technically domestic violence lethality response team. One of the things that I'm partnering with Haven of Hope on is to be able to go into our East and West Middle School and talk to 7th and 8th graders. We're planning on doing that in February, about what healthy relationships look like, boundaries, which I'm going to be honest, I'm practicing those big time right now. So we're going to work on boundaries and talking about what healthy relationships look like, all that. Another thing that came across this week, which I'm really excited about, I don't quite know where it's going, is a mental health care initiative. I was reached out to by a former Tullahoman who is working with a mental health care providers to seeing how they can partner with local nonprofits or city entities to try to bring free mental health care into our areas. So I'm meeting with her on Wednesday to get more information, hoping I can bring out some more things. And if it doesn't work for city or governmental entities, I'm hoping to look for a nonprofit that I can partner with on this. Another nonprofit thing, United Way. Sorry. That was Avery, the United Way fundraising clinic. I will be partnering with them on the 21st to help their partners in terms of fundraising. Tomorrow night's Diversity Council meeting at 6:30. Regarding the school board, I just want to say a big thank you to our faculty, staff, and administrators right now. I know that they're going through a lot and working very hard. Our school system itself is monitoring the COVID-19 situations. They are asking for everybody to follow CDC guidelines. I just wanted to make that put that out there. I know that there's a special session January 19th with the state, and I'm hoping that we can hopefully find some good support for them through what happens at the state level. And finally, Planning Commission. This year, our city has budgeted for, sorry, my daughter is yelling in the background. But this year, our city's budgeted for a comprehensive land use plan to be developed, which will set the zoning for the next, I think, about decade. I could be wrong in that in our community, which is very exciting. And I'm glad that we did that. But one of the most important parts of this process is to gain community input from all parts of our town. One way to do this is to ensure that all 4 quadrants of the community are represented, I think, on our planning commission. With tonight's appointment with Mr. Stanlin, I'm looking forward to building a relationship with him on the commission. With tonight's appointment, we'll have 5 out of 7 members, though, from our 4th quadrant, from the northeast side of town, and only 2 out of 7 from the central west side of town. While I do my best to be in every quadrant of the city, I can honestly tell you that being in a quadrant and visiting it is very different from living in it. I do not know it as well as the people who live there. I don't know what their neighbors are doing at 1 a.m. I don't know any of that. But I try my best to be in there. But with this said, I would have thought about taking this off the consent agenda, but this is the mayor's appointment, and I absolutely respect his choice in this matter. And that being said, I'd like to challenge all of us as a city board and our citizens for the next appointment on the Planning Commission, to try to find somebody from the south side of the city, so that when we are making this decision with the comprehensive land use plan moving forward, that we really have a representative portion of our population there. I know that I reached out to possible candidates for it. I hope that they put it in. I think some of them put in applications, but I promise that I'm going to keep doing that, because I think it's really important for us to have all 4 quadrants represented. And that's it.
Thank you, Alderman Blackwell. Alderman Dunn, Alderman Dunn is not with us tonight, so we'll move on to Alderman Berry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be kind of quick here. Since we last met, I had a town hall, kind of renamed Conversations with the Community, this past Thursday. And we went over, I've had a survey going out around, and it's online. You can find it on my Alderman page. Kind of asking what topics people want to discuss, what's important to you, what times are best for you to meet, and what days are best, to try and work out different schedules. I did ask some demographic information in there, and that's used so that I can target maybe this age group is better on Mondays, or so we can do certain things on certain days to meet certain demographics. I've committed to, when I ran for Alderman, I committed to doing 2 a month. We're back on track with that. The next one will be the 21st at 6:30. It'll be a virtual, and you can register the Zoom to participate in that. I'm going to continue to do these virtually out of respect for those who may not want to attend until further notice, at least until our city board meetings are not virtual. I had sorry, my Tourette's this weather's got me going. I had a community cleanup scheduled for this past Saturday. It was cold, and so we rescheduled it. This was at Maplewood Cemetery. My understanding is, and this was to kind of help Public Works, my understanding is that it has been cleaned already. So I'll be looking bright and early tomorrow morning and at a couple different spots that we can still do this for this coming Saturday. And I'll try to get with Public Works or other Parks and Rec and see if there's an area where they could use some assistance. I need to do it quick because I got a call scheduled with TUA in the morning. So I need to figure out the location fairly quick. If you have an idea, please reach out to me. Lastly, I want to encourage people to attend the Community Council for Diversity and Inclusion meeting tomorrow, whether you can do it in person or in Facebook. I think this is something that the community should actively participate in. If you do go in person, and I'm sure everybody else would ask, be respectful of the venue, Mount Zion Baptist Church, and if they ask to mask up, be respectful of the people that are there. That's kind of it. I'll just kind of end with the normal disclaimer of we're all neighbors here, and get to know each other, and let's get back to a place where we're moving on with the business of the city, and we're working together. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Berry. Alderman McGee.
Let me unmute. Since our last meeting, I've been sick. I had the virus, so I don't have a lot to report. Today is my first day back to work in 2 weeks. So I do want to thank everyone for your thoughts and your prayers, for all the generosity, the porch drop-offs. I don't know who did what. Every day seems like we would go out there and there would be something, some juice or some soup or something on my porch. So that is so greatly appreciated. Thank you for those generous donations. Our last meeting, I failed to mention that I attended the Reefs Across America on December 19th at Oakwood and Mount Zion Haley. Mount Zion Haley is very dear to my heart. My great, I had to count, grandfather was the founding pastor of Mount Zion Haley. So I have uncles, I have cousins who are buried there. And so it was just very emotional, very touching to attend that. That was my first time actually attending the Reefs Across America ceremonies. And it was just beautiful. If you've never attended one, I encourage you to do so this year. The TAEDC and the Housing Authority meeting was canceled for this month. Last month, I did get my agenda for the Housing Authority meeting for this month. I don't know if it's canceled or not. Also with talking about the Reefs Across America, I was able to get in contact with the chairperson of Reefs Across America. And so Evergreen Cemetery will be included, as well as Maplewood Cemetery. They will be included in those in that ceremony, December 2021. I also spoke with Pam Browning, who is the county director for the health department. And she is going to send me an email of how we can submit an application to volunteer at the site of the vaccines at the fairgrounds. So as soon as I get that email from her, I will distribute that to each of you. Someone did reach out to me after the first vaccination was given at the health department. All of this is new to all of us, especially those of us who work in healthcare. Everything is pretty much trial and error. And we're just asking for a little bit of grace because, it's new to us. So we're trying to work through things best we can. So I did let her know that I would be willing to volunteer. And I'm sure some of the other members of the mayor and board of aldermen would like to volunteer as well, whatever we can do to make their process easier. So she's going to email me an application to fill out to volunteer. So like I said, I will send that out to each and every one of you once I get that email. I would like to take this moment to congratulate Mr. Sandlin on his appointment also. And that is all of my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman McGee. Alderman Amacher, you made some comments earlier. If you have anything else to add regarding the appointments that you're on, the commissions that you serve on, we'd welcome them at this time.
Yes, sir. Just real quick, we haven't had any meetings. I'm on the Tourism Council and the Tree Board. Our next meeting is for the Tourism Council is at 1:30 on January 21st. It will be a Zoom meeting. I do want to just in good fashion do my small business shout out. This week I'd like to recognize Smith Window Tents. Josh Smith runs that. He's at 300 West Lincoln Street. His number is 393-2868. give him a call for your window tinting needs. Something else that, you know, I've got something on my heart that I really want to work towards, and I want to invite anybody in the public or on the board that would like to help me with this. As soon as COVID is clearing up just a little bit, because I think this is something we need to do in person, several people from the communities in town have asked me about doing an expungement fair and partnering with some city officials in order to make that happen. I know in Memphis they have done those. And I just kind of want to give an all call out to you guys in the public meeting that that's something I'm really interested in, hoping that maybe we can look at doing. Maybe even orchestrate that as a city board and invite some local attorneys to take part in that. And our local law enforcement to start, you know, getting some better partnerships with some of those people in our communities. So I've talked to a few people, Steve Berry being one of them, mentioned that to him, and hopefully going to get some partnerships in on that. So some good things that I think we can do as a board to help unite our community, and I'm looking forward to doing that. So reach out to me if you have any questions.
Alderman Almacher, I think we need to have some continued dialogue on that subject. I thank you for bringing it to our attention. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have a lot tonight. I hadn't had any specific meetings since our last meeting about a month ago. Glad to see Miss Renovia back and kicking. She was a COVID survivor and a cancer survivor, so kudos to her. You know, we'll get through this. I've said this before, you know, whether by vaccination or herd immunity, hopefully we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. To the other members of the board, you know, in the last 6 weeks, we've been through some trial and error. And if I've said anything that it's offended you, personally, that was not my intention. And I apologize. So, you know, I've reached out to at least one of you, specifically Rupa. So sometimes in the heat of the moment, things are said, and I didn't follow my own rules, and I apologize for that. I need to get my little card out that says speak, think before you speak. So, you know, I think moving forward, you know, when the weather breaks, everything's going to be better. So that's all I have tonight, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Blanks. And your comments are a segue into my first comments from the mayor. I want to make you aware that after our last board meeting on December the 14th, that I had an email from one of our aldermen. The subject of that email was decorum during our meetings. The email was to lodge a formal complaint. Well, in that the email was to lodge a formal complaint, I felt that it was inappropriate, that it was appropriate to share it with the entire board. So let me read it as follows. The events that played out in the meeting during our board meeting were unacceptable. As other members of the board do, I personally disagree with insensitive comments made by one of our aldermen, but I also take issue with divisive and inflammatory comments and accusations made by other members of the board on social media and during this meeting. I feel that each of us, if we choose, can use our own individual time and individual channels of communications to make our own opinions known, not the boardroom or any city communications channels. Our board meetings are for carrying out the business of the city. When we walk into these meeting rooms, our personal feelings and emotions must be checked at the door. Well-intended or not, there's no place for grandiose speeches or admonishing other board members or indirect ill speak of other board members in our physical or virtual chambers. I am guilty of this myself, and this admonishment goes for me as well. The Alderman did include a snapshot of our city code that expressly prohibits us from doing certain things. So while he said he did not he did not send this to the full board because he didn't feel it was in his place, I felt it was but it was completely appropriate to share it with you. Specifically, he addressed the respect to our city charter regarding decorum in meetings. 1, confine our remarks to the merits of the subject under discussion and with no outside discussion. 2, maintain a courteous tone. Never attack or make any allusion to it or to the motives of other members. So in following these guidelines, I'd just like to ask that comments be addressed to the chair, not to other aldermen, as it's just been a long-standing tradition or practice. If another alderman is mentioned, they'll be given an opportunity to respond. So with that, regarding our previous meetings and with your comments, Pro Tem Blanks, I think we'll get our meetings off to a good start this year. I'm anxious to do that. At this time, I'd like to say that we will not be having a report from their city attorney tonight. I received an email from the office of Mr. Worsham this morning stating that he would not be attending our meeting tonight, that he was extremely ill with COVID. So to city attorney Worsham, we send him our prayers. So at this time, we will have a report from our city administrator, Ms. Moody.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to remind everyone, as you know, the state legislature will be going into session beginning next week. And this week we'll have a legislative meeting. It won't be a dinner in person as we've done in the past, but we will have a Zoom meeting on Thursday. So look for that invitation. And please contact me if for some reason you don't see it in your email inbox. Also, I wanted to share with you, I had an opportunity and really appreciated the time with our Tullahoma Utilities partners. Last week, I met with Scott Young and President Brian Skelton and Dale Willis, who attends our development committee meetings each week. And we started a discussion of our city sewer system and growth plans. We also looked at areas within the city limits where we know we either have development and no sewer, or we have land that is not yet developed without sewer. And so this is just the very beginning of starting to think about our comprehensive plan, and TUA will be an important partner in developing the plan for the community's growth over the next 20 years. So I just wanted to share that. They were very generous with their time and working with us. Also, just an update again on the police building. We have made it very, very close. Possibly by the end of this week, we'll have achieved substantial completion on the project. We have taken over utility bills for the building. They are finishing some exterior and interior punch list items. And so we are getting extremely close to having a building and just waiting on, of course, furniture deliveries and a couple of remaining items to get set up there. Also, I wanted to share with you, every other year, Tullahoma has the honor of hosting the American Watercolor Society traveling exhibit. And that time is coming around again. It'll be at our Tullahoma Fine Arts Center. The exhibit opening is February 6th at 10 a.m. So I just want to extend an invitation to all of the community, and tickets are on sale now. Last, I wanted to share with you, you may not be aware, but over the last 2 years and maybe a little beyond that, we have in our building codes division tried to increase our efforts in property maintenance. And so I know you're aware of our administrative hearing officer process. which has given us an additional tool to work towards enforcement. But recently, we also hired a full-time property maintenance inspector. And that employee, Tony Mercado, he has gotten off to a great start. I believe just wanted to brag on him and share with you that last month he cleared 95 cases for the city. So he has been working tremendously hard, and I hope that you will begin to see some areas of improvement across our city. And as citizens address these violations, I really do believe that it helps their neighbors come into compliance without us having to send a notice or, and it really also is an underpinning of our economic development efforts and all of our efforts to make Tullahoma a more attractive place to live. So I just wanted to share that with you, and then also just continue to hope that everyone will be well across a lot of our departments. We have been very fortunate really since last March when COVID began to not have a lot of absences. But in the last month or two, we have had some departments with significantly short staff because of the virus. And so we're just working hard to try to stay isolated and wear masks when we're in public. But I just wanted to say a thank you to all of them, if I could, on this meeting, to just remember that I think they're doing an excellent job continuing services despite some of the being short staff at times. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moody. This time we'll move into the consent agenda, and I will note that all matters listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or a citizen so requests, in which case we'll move that item to the, we'll consider it separately after in the new business. During the portion of the meeting reserved for comments from citizens as shown on the agenda, citizens may request that the board remove an item from the consent agenda so that discussion can be made later in the meeting. So at this time, I'll read the caption for the consent agenda. Item number 2101, it's minutes from the 22nd of December special call meeting. 02, the minutes of December 2nd, 2020 Mayor Study Council. That's the Mayor Study Committee meeting on diversity and inclusion. Then there's the financial report that you'll find on beginning on page 43. 04 is to set up a public hearing for 5:30 p.m. on Monday, January the 25th on a request to rezone a parcel on 104 South Side Street from C2 General Commercial to R3 High Density Residential. Item 05, accept an anonymous donation of a previously owned 55-inch television, estimated retail value of $250 for the CD Stamps Community Center. 06 is to approve a 3-year renewal of the legal services agreement with attorney Stephen Worsham for a term ending on February the 22nd, 2024. And item 2107 to accept the mayor's appointment for Greg Sandlin to a 5-year term expiring on August 26, 2025 on the Tullahoma Planning Commission. Accept the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And a second from Alderman Blackwell. Any further discussion? If not, Alderman City Recorder Golden, would you please call the roll? Please you take the vote.
Yes, the vote. Mayor Noes.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Yes.
Alderperson Almacher.
Yes.
Alderperson Berry.
Yes.
Alderperson Blackwell.
Yes.
Alderperson McGee.
Yes.
That would be 6 votes for yes.
Motion carries. Consent agenda is approved. Under old business, there is no other old business. So under new business, we'll consider request to declare an area of 5,000 square feet inside the East Deckard Street right-of-way. It's adjacent to 320 South Polk Street. Property surplus, it's a real property for sale. You can find that on page 61 of your packet. you turn to page 61, you'll see the property in question. And that property is identified as a local, it's identified as, East Deckard is identified as a local street in the city's comprehensive transportation plan. And the typical right-of-way for a local street is 50 feet. The city should maintain at least a 50-foot right-of-way along East Deckard. This request would reduce the city's right-of-way from 100 feet, it's currently 100 feet, and reduce it to 50 feet. The board is asked to consider the inconsistency that would be created for maintenance responsibilities and the limitations upon city's future use of that area created by approval of this area for a surplus sale. The inconsistency in that all other right-of-way along that street is 100-foot right-of-way. If we went in and sold this property that we're talking about, it would reduce that right-of-way to 50 feet, whereas along the rest of the street, it would be a 100-foot right-of-way. Have I thoroughly described that resolution, Alderman, City Administrator Moody?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Okay, we have that resolution considered. Do I hear a motion?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve by Alderman Blackwell.
Second.
Seconded by Pro Tem Blanks. Any discussion on that?
Am I still mute? No, I'm still alive, Mike. Mayor, you had concerns that we were going to set a precedence of moving that right away from 100 feet to 50 feet, or Miss Moody, could you respond to that, or somebody on the Planning Commission that is?
I was on the Planning Commission. That Planning Commission voted to approve, move that to the to our board meeting here. That vote was 6-1 on the Planning Commission. It turns out I was the one that voted against that. It does, in my opinion, set a precedent there. But I'd certainly welcome the comments from the rest of the board.
I'd like to comment on it. My understanding is that this is the property, if I'm correct, that has is zoned commercial, but typically has had a home on it. Is this correct, Jennifer, that this was the one that was a, what's it called, non-conforming lot that had been in use for a while, but this was where the developer who was coming in to update it? No, is this a different one?
No, you're thinking of the rezoning that we set a public hearing for tonight.
Okay.
This item, and I apologize, I don't know if your map is in color or in black and white. If it's black and white, it's a little difficult to see, but this is parcel 22 at the corner of South Polk Street and East Deckard Street. If you look to the east on this map, which I don't see an arrow either, but this is just behind Cherokee Distributors. If that helps orient you a little bit, this property is a residence and it's currently a non-conforming lot. It's 50 feet wide and they're requesting an additional 50 feet of width and 200 feet of length of this East Deckard Street right-of-way to add to their lot. So from a planning standpoint, and actually I was responsible for writing the recommendation at Planning Commission, from a planning standpoint, it does bring this lot into conformance with our current code. It does not give him any additional building rights that he doesn't have currently. I think it would assist him with meeting some setbacks if he was to build an additional structure, accessory structure on the lot. So I believe that's why he's requesting it. Wearing my city administrator hat, I feel a little bit differently, and what I wanted to just ask for the board to consider is whether we want to approve surplusing city right-of-way when it only benefits one parcel at a time. So at a staff level, I asked them to consider the full length of East Deckard Street right-of-way, either within an entire block or from this section all the way to South Anderson Street, maybe even beyond South Anderson Street. And there are some areas where we would not be able to reduce the right-of-way down to 50 feet. So that's sort of the inconsistency that I'm seeing, is that we're not able to, along an entire block or along an entire roadway, from a bigger picture sense, adjust the right-of-way widths. It would only be along this one parcel that we would be changing.
Would it set a precedent where, like what Mayor Snow said, where if we were to approve this, if someone to come back and try to do this in a different location, would it set a precedent where we could open ourselves up to liability?
That's really my concern. Yes. And if you will notice, even in black and white, if you look at the property lines along the left of East Deckard Street, you'll see that those property lines are aligned. If we sold a 50-foot right-of-way off of that, then you've got property lines that do not align along that street, which I think from a maintenance standpoint is certainly something that we need to consider as well.
Mr. Mayor, in reading this, they're not specifically saying they want to build anything. They just want the property for right now. Is that my understanding? And this doesn't, they're currently not prohibited from building. Well, we don't know what they want to put there, but it doesn't, they just want the property.
In my last conversation with Mr. Gwynn, he indicated that he may build a 2-car garage. He may want to build a 2-car garage behind the existing structure. And they do, as you can see on this map, they do use this area of right-of-way as a driveway and to park on. They're utilizing it now. It's sort of unimproved right-of-way that they're able to use.
In the background statement, Alderman Berry says the applicant requests to add an additional 25 feet of width along 200 feet of the existing lot, these shared streets, to build a 2-car garage, detached garage on the property.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And if you look at the property, there's plenty of room along that 200-foot length for a 2-car garage to be built behind the house, as it is now.
I guess that was kind of my question. Is there anything prohibiting them right now from doing something like that? I am concerned about the precedent and doing it for one. You never want to prohibit somebody from doing something if we can just do something small to help, but it sounds like
I'm clicking buttons. Is there, I think that's what I would need to know. Looking at the land behind the house, is there a reason that they would not be able to get approved to build a 2-car garage on that area? Perhaps maybe it's in the flood zone or something like that. Maybe there's a divot that I can't see on this aerial map, or it wouldn't be a good use of that land for some reason. I just feel like this is an odd request and there's something that I'm missing.
In looking at that property, just to drive by, look at it on a couple of times, I see no reason why not. Do you, Ms. Moody?
The only obstacle that I could think of is I would have to check setbacks, and it would depend on what he presented as far as he hasn't shown us a sketch or a concept of what the size of this 2-car garage would be, but that's the only limiting factor. Because it is a narrow lot, I could see if setbacks potentially may be an issue there. And I will add that it has been an interesting request. The applicant originally, when he met with me, was requesting to subdivide this lot so that he could build another residence on the back half of the property. And that's when I informed him that he couldn't, that his lot was already below the minimum size for a single family structure. So it was a legal non-conforming, you know, it's grandfathered in, but that's when he started asking questions about, well, could I surplus additional property to bring, you know, increase his lot from 5,000 up to 10,000 square feet. So, and so it's interesting. I think he changed from wanting to put another residence on the property to now he's saying he may want to have an accessory, a garage. And maybe it's because they are parking these extra vehicles out in the right of way. If he had a garage, he would have somewhere to put the cars into.
Was that conversation after it was presented to the Planning Commission with you about putting the garage?
No, all of these conversations were before he requested surplus property.
Okay, thanks for that clarification.
In purchasing this surplus property, would that give them what they needed to subdivide? Is this a way to get around the, no?
No, he would, and that's why I thought it was interesting that he wanted to pursue this. It does not give him enough property to be able to subdivide the lot. It merely brings him up to our minimum lot size.
Now, are we able to do, I know we're not, variances aren't good, but if they needed a variance for a setback, is there enough to do that? Would that be a better option, if possible, than surplusing all of that, surplusing that property?
I do think that that would be a possible option for him. I want to ask if our new planner, Mary Samaniego, I know she's on the call. And so I just want to offer her an opportunity to speak if she wants to add anything to this discussion.
Without knowing exactly what the applicant or the property owner is intending, it's kind of hard to speculate what may or may not meet setbacks or what may or may not need a variance. The only thing I think that I could perhaps add is like, as Ms. Moody said, I did check the transportation plan, and this section of Deckard is a local road, so it's not proposed to do any major expansion as far as a concern of surplusing right-of-way that the city might need at some future date for roadway expansion. So I don't foresee that this road's ever going to extend beyond a minimum of 50-foot right-of-way in the foreseeable future. Again, this road's not proposed for any sort of expansion. Other than that, I did look at an aerial photograph of the property and did check the floodplain. It does not look as though any portion of this property is in the floodplain. It just looks like it's kind of a wooded portion of their property to the southwest, which I don't see, again, the 2 minutes I've looked at it, any reason why that portion of the property couldn't be developed with a two-car garage. The property is 50 feet wide, setbacks are 10 feet each. Assuming a two-car garage is about 25 feet, it should be able to fit. But again, we're speculating at this point exactly what the intent of the property owner is.
Thank you. Okay, we've had a pretty thorough discussion. Now we have a motion to approve this sale of property. A motion that's been properly made and properly seconded.
But what if I want to change my motion?
Go ahead.
Or do we just go ahead and vote on it because it's an up and down vote, right?
We have a motion. We have a motion on the floor. Okay. Seconded. We can vote on it. Is that okay? Have any further discussion? Now I'll ask Ms. Golden, could you please call the roll?
Sure. So voting on up or down item number 21-08, declaring a property surplus. Mayor, how do you vote?
Oh, no.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
No.
Alderperson Almacher.
Yes.
Alderperson Berry.
No.
Alderperson Blackwell.
No.
And Alderperson McGee.
No.
So it looks like 5 no's and 1 yes.
Motion fails. There's no other new business, so we'll adjourn the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting and go directly into the beer board. Any public comments from anyone regarding the beer board? We moved quickly there, so if there's anyone that would need to make a public comment, we'll open the floor for your comments. Hearing no comments from the public, we'll move on to the beer board agenda items. We have the consent agenda for the minutes from our December 22nd board meeting. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Blanks. Second from Alderman Blackwell. Call the roll, Ms. Golden.
Yes. Mayor Noes.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Yes.
Alderperson Almacher.
Yes.
Alderperson Berry.
Yes.
Alderperson Blackwell.
Yes.
Alderperson McGee.
Yes.
That's 7 yes. I'm sorry, 6 yeses.
Yes. So consent agenda is approved. We'll move on to the old business, and there is no old business. Moving on to new business. We have 3 items under new business. Item number business, beer board 02. That's a beer application for on-premises permit for an existing business. That's at 735 Clement Drive. It's the Brothers Local Market. For a new owner, Ms. Patel, to be the local manager in charge of beer sales. Ms. Patel, you have any comments to make?
No.
Okay. On the beer board item 02, do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve from Barry, seconded by Blackwell.
Roll call.
As a matter of discussion, this is the Brothers Market at the intersection of Clement Drive and
West Side Drive.
It's West Side Drive. Yes, thank you. And Clement Drive. It was there built by the Dameron Brothers. It's Dameron Brothers Market. So at this point in time, would the Mr. Patel like to ask a question or two, if you would mind answering? Let me ask, do you have other businesses in town that you currently operate?
No, sir.
Have you had other businesses that you've operated where you sold beer?
Yes, sir.
And where were they?
There will be in Manchester, Tennessee, Cookeville, Tennessee. There will be Crossville, Tennessee, and it will be Murfreesboro.
Okay, so you're very familiar with the laws regarding sale of beer. Have you read the beer laws for Tullahoma?
Yes, sir.
And do you have any questions about those beer laws?
No, sir.
What do you have in place to guarantee you're not selling beer to underage minors?
Anything you guys like?
Say again, please.
Anything you guys like to guarantee?
Well, I would like for you to tell us what you have in place to guarantee you're not selling beer to minors.
It will be my respect to the city and my liability for a license. I guess that will be it, right?
Do you have anything that you inspect? Do you look at an ID?
We do. We have a 2 ID form. We have a cash register that will scan it, and we visually check the ID ourselves.
Okay, so you do have a point of sale inspection process.
Yes, sir.
And then you're very familiar with the penalties associated with sale of beer to minors.
Yes,
do
sir.
you have any, Ms. Golden, has all the appropriate forms been completed?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Patel. Yes, Mr. Blank, you have a question?
One thing we've done in the past is make sure that the staff is taking the responsible vendor course. Y'all may, Mr. Patel, you may have done that and know what I'm talking about, but I'll always recommend, you know, the owner or whoever the cashiers are take that course. And I think Miss Rosemary may be able to give you the number of the person in Coffee County that can provide that for you. But I think that would be Rosemary, do you have that?
Yes, I did provide that
Okay.
to him. There's a list of about 4 different companies. There is one in Coffee County that will come to his place of business and train several cashiers at one stop.
Is that at no cost?
I think it's a minimum cost.
Okay. I think, speaking for the board, we would encourage that probably.
Mr. Patel, would you be willing to have you and your employees review those requirements?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Okay, with that, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
We have the motion made by Barry and Blackwell seconded, so we're ready for vote.
Thank you, Ms. Rosemary Golden, for your keeping me on track. You're greatly appreciated. I could not get along without you. Having trouble even with you.
Okay, so let's, Mayor Noes, how do you vote?
If there's no further discussion, Ms. Golden, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Mayor Noes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks.
Yes.
Alderperson Almacher.
Yes.
Alderperson Barry.
Yes.
Alderperson Blackwell.
Yes.
Alderperson McGee.
Yes.
Okay, that's 6 yes.
Congratulations.
Mr. Patel, we welcome you to our community and hope that your business continues to do well.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Item number business, Beer Board 03, the beer application for an off-premises beer permit for an existing business at 1201 East Carroll Street. That was the shortstop market. The owners, Ms. Patel, and it'll be the local manager in charge of beer sales. Gotta get a motion on the floor.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Motion seconded by people.
I don't, it sounded close.
It's like at the same time.
Ms. Golden, did you get the motion and the second?
I have a motion by Blanks and Blackwell
Barry
seconded it.
I think that's right. Okay.
It was Barry who made the motion, and I don't know who seconded it.
Okay. A question. I see the same last name. Are the 2 owners of these properties related? Ask the owner of the question.
Yes, it is relative is brother and sisters owned by 2 properties. And Brothers Market owned by Gayatri and Shortstop owned by Zawa Patel. That was me. So yes, Mayor, is relative brother and sister is going to operate the 2 stores.
Very good. Then does this owner have the same experience operating other stores?
Yes, yes, Mayor.
Very good. Sound like well qualified and welcome. I hope your business does well.
It's good thing about we have all staffs going to stay with us, so you know we really enjoy with them as well, and I hope everything's go well.
Very good. Ms. Rosemary, have all the papers been completed and approved?
Yes.
Okay. And we would ask the same questions. I'll just, without reiterating those questions, were all the questions asked previously, can you answer in the affirmative?
Yes, like check the IDs and, the requires by cities and the state. We also have, like, you mentioned that we have very good system on POS system. So without scanning the ID, they cannot make the sales because they have to check the ID. Otherwise, their sales not going to be, exist, so they have to be showing the ID every transaction they do. So we have that system already be there. And the good thing is, like I said, we have same steps going to be operate for us. So it's not going to be any difficult for us doing anything because it's already there, system is there and everything is there, Mayor.
Very good. Sounds like you're ready to go, off and running. Is there any further discussion? Ms. Rosemary, I would let you call the roll for approval of Beer Board item 03.
So I'm just confirming we had the motion made by Alderman Daniel Berry, and it was seconded by
Alderman Blackwell.
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 Blackwell. Good deal. Now we're taking a vote, and Mayor Noes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Yes.
Alderperson Amacher?
Yes.
Alderperson Berry?
Yes.
Alderperson Blackwell?
Yes.
Alderperson McGee?
Yes.
That would be 6 yeses. Thank you.
Again, to the Patels, welcome to Tullahoma. We trust that your businesses will do well.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, and thanks for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beer Board item 04, a beer application for on-premises permit for an existing business as at 315 South Anderson Street, 315 Bar and Grill, with a new owner, Ms. Jessica Kim George, who will be the local manager in charge of beer sales. We get a motion on the floor.
Make a motion.
Motion from Alderman McGee.
Second.
Seconded by Alderman Blackwell. Any discussion? Ms. George, I'll ask the same question that I asked the previous applicants. Have you operated an establishment selling beer in the past? Ms. George, are you on the line this evening?
I think you may have to hit the *6 if she's on and can't figure out.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can now. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, I have. I have operated a bar before a few years ago.
And was it in Tullahoma?
Yes, sir.
Is that affirmative or negative?
It was yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Okay, very good. So you're familiar with the Tullahoma beer laws?
Yes, sir.
As our city recorder, Ms. Golden, provided you with all the materials that you need for complying with all of our rules and regulations.
Yes, sir, she has.
And Ms. Golden, have all the appropriate documentation been submitted?
Yes, Mayor.
Thank you. And I would ask Ms. George, what do you have at point of sale to guarantee you're not selling to minors?
We card everybody that walks in the door. We are 21 and up only. We check expiration, birthdays. If you're not 21, you have to leave immediately.
Okay, very good. And do you have a copy of the laws regarding the point of sale requirements in Tullahoma that Ms. Golden provided?
Yes.
And you have any questions about those?
No, I do not.
Very good. Do you have any other discussion?
No, sir.
Ms. Golden, you may call the roll.
Yes, Mayor Noes, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Blanks,
Yes.
Alderperson Allmacher,
Yes.
Alderperson Berry,
Yes.
Alderperson Blackwell,
Yes.
Alderperson McGee.
Yes.
That would be 6 affirmatives.
This is George. Welcome to the new owner of the 315 Bar and Grill. Welcome to be a business in Tullahoma. We look forward to a long and continued relationship.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. There's no further business for the beer board this evening. The meeting will be adjourned.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.